This is Frontline, but what this video is about, it's about lag and latency, and I'm going to show you what it's like to play with a 700 millisecond ping time. It's going to go down to 240, but only for short periods of time. And you're going to see that I'm not even going to make it past this rock. I'm going to drive this way over here, and I won't even make it past that rock. And I'm going to drive around a little bit, and the driving is going to be a little crazy, and I'm going to die easily. I'm going to spawn back in. The ping time's still going to be crazy. All the sloppy driving here is because of lag, latency, and ping time. You see, I'm unable to move. And you're going to notice, see how the screen just jumped? It's not because of the FPS. And that was what happened here. The screen is jumping because of lag and latency. I'm not seeing that. Or maybe I was seeing that when I'm playing. I'm really not sure. You notice it's gone up to 999. I wanted to reverse to here and go out that way. And look at what happened. It brought me all the way back to here. So right now my vehicle is refusing to respond to keyboard commands. So I have to sit here and wait. Keep on hitting the key, waiting for it. You know, it's red means it's not connected. Now I got something back in. I'm going to try again. So predict how I'm going to do with playing like this. I'm going to come up out of 30 players on my team. I'm going to rank number 11. So you can see I'm trying to get in the game, but it's jumping around still. The latency, I had to physically stop. Some of the driving here is because of the latency and the lag and the packet loss. And you see the screen is jumping. It's going to there it is again. When that's happening, if I do an adjustment on the keyboard, it won't respond. You notice how the vehicle is crazy driving? I didn't want to go that way, nor did I want to do that. It's because if I push a key, either nothing's going to happen or it's going to just turn way too much. So here's an example where it turned too much, and there's another example where it turned too much, and there's another example where it turned too much. So it was oversteering. Okay, so the next tank is not even going to get as far as I got with that first tank. I'm going to drive out, and then the game is literally going to freeze for about a minute. Right here, notice that my vehicle is moving, and then all of a sudden it stops. And then it's going to start moving again. And that's because of the lag and the latency. It's screens jumping around. I'm not even going to make it through here. The game's going to crash is what's going to happen. You'll notice that because of the latency, all of a sudden my vehicle is stopped. It's like, I mean, I know what's going on. You have no choice but to deal with it. I'm going to stop right here. Now my game is frozen. It's not responding to the keyboard commands. I can see what's going on. I can see the enemy moving and my allies moving, but I can't physically do anything. I'm hitting the button to try and fire the gun. Okay, so there I got a little bit of a movement, and I want to hit that 50 TP, but I can't. The game's is going to literally crash when that EBR gets in front of me. So right now the EBR, I'm going to stop it. The game crashes right here. He's going to appear. I'm going to auto-aim him. My vehicle is refusing to respond to keyboard commands. The game's going to crash. When that EBR approaches, the game is going to freeze, but it's going to be like another minute or two before the game actually crashes. So during that time, I'm just sitting here unable to do anything. Don't see any movement of my allies. If I move the gun, you know, nothing. The reload doesn't do anything. If you push the button, it will fire, but the shot doesn't come out of the gun. The clock will stop. It'll literally be a frozen game. I really want to stop the recording because the last time I did it, it didn't work. Let's see what happens. There's the game. Okay, so the game just crashed, and I'm going to start over again, and I'm in the same position, and it looks, you notice it says 0 milliseconds, and I haven't reviewed this. It looks like, okay, now I have control of the game again. We're going to see some really weird stuff. Remember, I'm going to come 11th on my team with this horrible gameplay, low penetration gun. The ping time is really good right now. It went down to 216, I saw. So I hit that guy. You notice that the screen is jumping around. When it's doing that, that was totally because of the lag. What's happening is I'm hitting the key to turn, but when I release the key, the tank just keeps on turning. And what do you think? Did you see what happened with that gun? Let's look at what happened with that gun. Watch what my gun does. It literally does that in the game. And how are you supposed to fire your gun if all of a sudden your gun does this weird gun movement where it jumps around? So over here, like I said, I push the key to turn a little bit to go this way, but instead it turns too far and it hits this house. And then watch my gun movements. Watch what the gun does. It's going to jump. You see what the gun is doing? That is from the lag and the latency. It just suddenly spun around, even though I didn't want it to do that. Okay, so we're going to get back in. I decided to come in with a tank destroyer because I'm going to have a little bit of a better game. I'm going to try and shoot from a distance, but guess what's going to happen? All sorts of crazy things are going to happen playing with this tank destroyer. My ping time is actually somewhat good. Whenever you see the frames disappear and it jumps, that's me experiencing packet loss. There it is again. Right now, the vehicle did not turn. I did not make a good turn. It's overturning. I only wanted to turn a little bit. And now I can't even drive past this house. So you really want to be out. And you notice how slowly it's turning. I wanted it, as soon as I turn my mouse, the tank should have turned. But there's a little bit of delay. This is a tank that if I move my mouse to the right and I'm not moving, the tank should start turning immediately, but it doesn't. So there's a delay for me turning to get my gun, and then when I do turn, it turns too much. And we're going to see more so, and then there's a delay when I fire. Okay, so what's happening is you'll see that I'm in the sniper mode, and then I fire after it leaves the sniper mode. That is not what's happening when I'm playing the game. When I play the game, I'm still in the sniper mode when I fire, and when the shot hits the enemy, I'm still in sniper mode. But what I'm seeing in the replay is different. Now, here's a case where I should have hit this guy, but because of the lag and the latency and the packet loss, I will completely be unable to. Look at what's happening. My vehicle went too far. Number one, when I was trying to aim, it wasn't aiming where I wanted it to. And number two, when I stopped the vehicle kept on moving, so now the building is in the way. And now I'm reversing, and now I have to move on. So here's the case. As soon as I saw the low, we're going to go back. We're going to see the low. I stop immediately, but my vehicle keeps on moving. And you'll notice that when I go into the sniper mode, my vehicle also keeps on moving. Because I'm going to aim my tank when I'm not going to aim and drive at the same time at a vehicle that's only showing portions. So I missed my ability to hit that tank because of lag and latency. Unfortunately, it's not showing the buttons that I'm pressing on the keyboard. I should have stopped right there. My vehicle's still moving a little bit. I fired, and you notice there was a delay before the shot came out. It was a split-second delay. You notice that my vehicle did not turn around properly. So if my vehicle stops and I move the cursor, the vehicle should start turning immediately, and it should turn smoothly. But what's going to happen is I'm going to go like move my cursor, and the vehicle's not going to start turning, and it's going to move jittering, which means it's stopping as it's moving. I do a recon. Right there, it should have turned. It's jittering, it's stopping as it's turning. That was a little weird. There's a little bit, see, it's overturning. I only wanted to go forward a little bit. That's another case where it should have been turning a little bit faster, but if I move the cursor to the left and start turning to the left, and it's doing it a little bit slowly, it's because of the game. I'm already pushing the keys on the keyboard. There's another example. You look at what happened. we're gonna see some weirder stuff when we get to the Scorpion. That was really weird. There's going to be things happening where I'm going to suddenly stop. They're all going to shoot at me because I'm going to stop out in the open. I'm going to shoot, and then there's a delay. I'm zipping the camera around, and it's taking too long for the tank to start turning. Or I'm going to auto-aim a tank. Oh, see, there's another example where the tank turned too far. Because of the delay, my gun is not pointing where I want it to point to. And then the shot goes. So let's see where that shot went. I've seen cases where the shot completely goes in some crazy direction. And the shot will literally go in a direction that's different than where I'm aiming. So we're going to watch very slowly. Let's see how the shot comes out of the gun. I don't see the shot, unfortunately. I don't see a tracer. It's like it didn't even shoot. It's just some of this. Normally you see a tracer come out of the gun and it will just come out at some weird angle. It looked like it was just a ghost shell that didn't even fire. And it doesn't matter if you see the animation on your side. See how the tank is turning too much? I don't want to go that way. There's another example where I moved my mouse around and see how it turned too far? Moved my mouse, but the tank started turning with a delay, and then it moved too far, so I couldn't really aim on that tank, and he got away. You see how it's jittering? It's moving around really weird. There's another example where it took too long to turn. Right there is another example where it froze, and it didn't move smoothly. It was a delay for turning, and it stopped, and then there was another little bit of a gap. There it's turning too far, because I wanted to go after that Scorpion. I zoomed in, but it didn't fire. Did you see that? It was fully zoomed in, and the gun didn't fire because there's a delay. And that's exactly what you saw was how much the delay is. That's a 200 millisecond delay right there. There's going to be more. There's going to be a lot more stuff. And like I said, even with this gameplay, I'm still going to rank 11th on my team. You notice right there the tank, I was pushing the key to turn and it didn't. Right here, the same thing. It's taking too long for it to come around. There's another example. I want to turn for the Scorpion. There's a delay. And he killed me. When you watch the replay, it doesn't show everything. It's actually worse. I should do a recording real time, but the problem with doing the recording real time is that the recording real time will also impact the performance. So I decided to take out the YAG-D Tiger because it's a well-armored tank, and it's not a fast-moving tank, so I don't have to worry about crazy driving. You see how it overturned? And it was a little jittery. Right there, it's not turning. I wanted to turn towards the other EBR. It was slow to turn to the Scorpion. Was able to kill him. Oh, it's not showing. Right there, it's not turning. It's kind of stopping as it's trying to turn. I'm going to do a live recording also so we can compare. So obviously it's a little slow. I can't remember exactly what's going to happen. I think I'm going to start heading towards D. I know at some point that I'm going to die and I'm going to get into a faster tank destroyer, which is the other French, the CDA. Tank's moving real slow. 280 milliseconds, I don't mind playing with 280 milliseconds. And now there's no action. So I was typing to my allies that that we needed some more people at D. That's me wanting to turn and it's taking too long to turn and it's jittering. You see the delay? I was fully zoomed in and it didn't fire. There's another example. There's some sort of a delay where the second and third shot never fired. Fully zoomed in and had open shot. That one was because I actually did fire after I saw him drop over the side. That was not lag related. That one I overturned a little bit too far. This one, the vehicle's not turning. That was a lucky shot. That one I was like, oh, the latency helped me on that one. I think an Emel's going to hit me. This one over here is going to hit me on the rear. If my pointer is that way and my vehicle's driving that way, that's the lag and the latency. I'm pointing my pointer in the direction I want to fire. I want my gun to come around and it's just not doing it. It just keeps driving in the wrong direction. You see right there, it's not turning. I want my vehicle to turn and it's not turning. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I had it locked on the wrong mode. Right there's another example. I wanted it to turn and the vehicle was not turning. Okay, so this is the CDA. We're going to see some crazy stuff. Very difficult. The 240 milliseconds right now, I'm used to driving. It's difficult with the Russian light tanks. There it was slow to turn around. I moved my mouse pointer, but the vehicle didn't turn. I was hitting, okay, that one wasn't an example. There's another example. I moved the pointer and I hit the button and there was a delay. There's an example where it's driving with a zigzag that's not intentional because it's oversteering. You notice I angled the view, and see there was another example where it went too far and my vehicle is not going where I want it to go. He's going to go out of my, that happened. There was nothing I could do about it. That was part of the gameplay. He got to the point where he was out of my gun elevation. I seem to recall I'm going to get on the cap. There's another example where it spun around too much, so the gun went too far. So there's that extra delay to be able to fire my gun. Happens all the time, especially with the faster tanks. With a fast tank destroyer like this, I'll spin around and it will just go too far. With light tanks, you want to stop in a bush and it will go too far and then everybody spots you and then you die. Weird, wild stuff. Let's see what happens with this. So I'm waiting for this guy to come in. I hit him. If I weren't playing with 240 latency, I would have fired faster. I'm going to advance. There's another example. I did not intend to drive this way. It's up to 999 milliseconds up here. So you see, in order to get to the repair facility, which I needed repairs. And because of the latency, I'm almost going to completely miss repairs and ruin the whole thing. Watch what's going to happen. It's at 300. It's going to jump up. Look at that. It went up to 800. I was like, holy crap, I almost drove too far, which means that I would not have gotten my repairs. Now it's up to 800 milliseconds again. Look at that. See what happened? When that's happening is when I'm losing control of the tank, and now it's up to 999. And do you really think that I wanted to drive towards that rock? I did not want to drive towards that rock. So where I am right now was not what I wanted to do, but it was where I ended up because of the lag and the latency. And now you see it was turning too far to the right when I wanted to head towards the Mauerbrecher. Now I'm trying to go up the lower slope and it was misaligning towards the wall and the steeper slope. Now I'm heading right towards a building. It's a little bit too slow to react. Trying to swing the tank around, want to get those guys. That was just really weird. I remember it being weird when I was playing. I wanted to shoot that guy, I was unable to. You notice there was a delay in turning to go after the TS5. I was still able to hit him. And now it's not turning. I wanted it to turn for the Panther, and there was a delay and it didn't turn. Now there's another example. I swung the tank around and I wasn't moving. We're going to watch this again. When you swing the mouse around and your turretless tank destroyer is not moving, the tank moves immediately. But because of the lag and the latency, as soon as I move the mouse around, the tank is supposed to turn. There it is, the tank not moving. So there's a delay. It went up to 620 milliseconds. It's oversteering. I didn't want to turn that much. Now I'm out of the game. Don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So for some reason, my tank, I remember reversing. I believe that's, you notice that it's not turning. I want to turn that way, and the reaction time is so slow, and it goes too far. That was just a weird shot. Okay, so I'm sorry that, now that case I didn't want to turn. So we're going after OBJ1, but the problem is it will be destroyed before I arrive. So I'm not going to get a chance to shoot at it. Now I've got a reasonable ping time. It was 240. So there's an example where I drove around the corner. That EBR, he's an Unicum. Now look at what's going on now. This is typical gameplay. My tank suddenly just started turning around in a circle, and then literally I was confused. I was like, what the heck is going on here? That was from the lag and the latency. There's another example. It's turning too far to the left. The vehicle continued moving after I went into the sniper mode, and I had already hit the stop button. There's another example where it took too long to turn. It's not turning right there. It turned too far. It looked like it turned a little bit too far in that case. It was slow to turn. So we're going to go after the IS-3A. Unfortunately, he's going to hide. So I won't be, it looks like it's driving a little weird. He's going to hide, so I won't be able to shoot him. And I have the wrong ammo. You really need an HE round. So I figure, you know, that IS-3A, I'm not going to be able to do anything. I'm just going to leave, go fight somewhere else. Can't wait to hear the comments. Look at that. Look at that. See, that's from the lag and the latency. You were out in the open. Well, it's because of lag and latency. You know, I'm not going to, you can't micro drive your vehicle when you have crazy amounts of lag. You would just never get anywhere if you tried to play with amazing accuracy, because every time you try to just get over the hill, you're going to go too far or not far enough. And then not only that, but you can say, I'm just going to peek over around the side, and then you lag out, and then you're stuck there for a minute, and then the enemy bombards you, and then you're dead. Or you get back in the game, and you got one hit point left, or your allies don't like where you are, so then they team kill you. I had a game once where allied team killed me because I was lagged out. It looks like in this case, my vehicle is not turning the way I want it to, because it looks like I'm trying to get it to turn, but it isn't. We're getting towards the point where we're at the end of the game. 3 minutes left. I wanted to get major, but I was like, there's no way I'm going to get any damage with all this lag. I can't play a fast vehicle. I couldn't spawn into a good zone. Someone says stop killing objectives because, of course, they like to play. They don't like to exploit the reward system. No, we just need more damage. No, you don't. You don't need more damage. What you need is a win. Don't kill 5 yet, people. So we're getting to the point where the game's going to end. Isn't that really weird what's going on there? So I had a weird aim, and I seem to recall that I'm going to miss my chance to hit him again because of something. Something's going to happen. I won't be able to get another shot. This one, I unfortunately didn't have enough time to aim. I took a wild shot at a sliver of his tank. Now you're getting hit because you're in poor positions, not because of lag. Whatever. The game is going to end real soon. There's a minute and a half left. We are going to win the game. I don't think I'm going to spawn in again. I think this is it. And I think we're going to win the game right now. Let's see what happens. Does it go to victory? So, okay, so it says right there that I'm captain. That's got to be the end of the game. I think we just got victory. You can see I did 3,800 damage and I did 3,900 spotting damage. That was reported here, but I might have done more that didn't get reported. I did 2,300 blocked by armor. Unfortunately, I only made it to captain. I was captain when I spawned in on this tank, so I wasn't able to get it up any further. So that's typical. And like I said, what you see in the replay is not what I see when I play the game. When I'm playing the game, it's much, much worse. The replay is cutting some of the frames and it smooths out some of the things. And in the replay, I might be driving one way, and in my game, I look like I'm driving somewhere else. So if you have any questions or comments, please post below, and please post about how it's not lag and latency and I'm just a bad player because I haven't heard it before, haven't heard it enough times.